Hello, fellow photographers, and welcome to this episode of Urban Edge Academy. Today we're going to be talking about the Worldwide Developer Conference.
Baby, I'ma hold you tight. Give me just another night. Maybe on the morning light, like we used to do when you were mine. Baby, I'ma hold you.
There's a couple of reasons that the photographers and video people should care about the Worldwide Developer Conference tomorrow. So, the biggest reason is that the rumors around the new MacBook Pros are getting pretty steamy right now. So we all remember back when we had MacBook Pros that came with an actual SD card slot. So there's no SD card reader. So we've had to convert to the dongle system and things like that. That can be a pain if you use the SD card stuff a lot. Now, the old MacBook Pros that are the 16-inch, those are rumored to be getting an update where they're going to be bringing back the MagSafe, the magnetic connector on the left side, and they're going to be bringing back a couple of Thunderbolt ports and an SD card reader on the side. So that's going to be really, really cool. That's the first reason. So if you do a lot of photography that relies on an SD card reader, or an SD card rather, and you've been using a dongle and things like that, you should consider keeping up with and watching. It's going to be really, really jam-packed with all kinds of fun stuff. Now, traditionally, WWDC, because it's a developer conference, is more about software. It's more about kind of the nerdy stuff where they talk about some really interesting iOS updates that are going to be coming this fall. So it's really, really geared for software. But that's the first reason, is some of the rumored hardware updates that are coming to those 16-inch MacBook Pros. The second reason you should care about WWDC tomorrow would be iPadOS. So right now, this is an M1 iPad Pro, and we've been using this at Urban Edge Studios to do some edits in Affinity Photo, and then hopping onto Procreate and using that to really kick it up a notch for our magazine that we put out every month. But with the iPadOS is nice. It's nice, but it could be better. And WWDC is going to be all about the next version. So that's iPadOS 15, whatever they're going to call it. The next version of iPadOS could be game-changing for just what it allows us to do. The software on these devices, it enables us to do all of this amazing creative stuff, but it can also hinder us if it's not filling in all the blanks and checking all those boxes, right? So we have some amazing hardware with the M1 processor and all that great stuff, but we've got to have software that continues to raise the bar so that we can be even faster with all of our creating and our editing and things like that. So those are the big reasons that I've been thinking about why photographers should care about WWDC tomorrow. It's going to be that rumored hardware that's coming, and even if that doesn't come out to the fall, it's something to keep track of. And I really, really think that the iPadOS that's going to be coming out in the next week or two or something like that, iPadOS 15, that's going to be an absolute game changer for this iPad Pro. Specifically, it's going to be taking advantage of the M1 processor, and we've got this Thunderbolt port that's on the bottom now, so that's going to be fantastic to have faster transfer speeds. And the biggest reason that Urban Edge Studios has migrated to M1 processors completely, so we have a MacBook Pro 13-inch with an M1 and then this iPad Pro with an M1, is because of just the amount of insane time that it saves us with our edits, and specifically with the video editing. So if you do some light video editing, I think the M1 processor is probably the best investment for your photography business in 2021. It's just going to be huge. So what we were using before that was a 2019-inch iMac, and that had a Fusion drive in it. It has a Fusion drive in it, and it was really, really not that quick, especially if you're doing some very, very simple 4K video edits. Very simple edits, but 4K footage, man, did that thing really drag. But the M1 processor does it, almost 20 times faster with the M1. And the kind of edits we're doing here on the iPad, this thing is just blazing fast when it comes to doing all of those simple edits that we do in Affinity Photo and Procreate and things like that. It's an absolute dream to work on. So I would definitely recommend upgrading to any M1 that you can get your hands on. Now, I haven't had an opportunity to check out the M1 iMacs that just released, but you can bet your newest camera body that M1 processor in that new iMac is going to be super zippy for all the kind of stuff that you'd want to do for photography. We just so happen here at Urban Edge Studios to have a workflow that includes the need for an Apple Pencil and some more fun artistic stuff that we do with Procreate. Now, I want to talk about Procreate for just a second because this is going to be huge. This is going to be in conjunction with WWDC. So if we hop over on Procreate's website, we've got 5.2 that's coming out. This is going to be very, very exciting. So if any kind of artwork that you do, if you're editing photos, if you're just kicking up your artwork a notch, this stuff is so cool. I'm getting into all kinds of fun stuff. There's so many great videos on YouTube about, Etsy channels and digital art creation. And it's so cool that we can use a tool like this to take normal portraits that we've been doing for years now, thousands of portraits, and just really kick them up a notch, having the ability to throw them in Procreate and do some awesome stuff. So keep an eye out. We'll definitely make a video when Procreate launches this 5.2. You can bet your bottom dollar here that we're going to be doing a cool video to show you all the new features that come out in this. It's going to be so neat. Procreate is just game changing. If you have not had an opportunity to play with it, it's absolutely fantastic. So anyway, those are the few things that are coming at WWDC. It's going to be some really nerdy stuff. If there's anything that surprises us about tomorrow's presentation, we're going to make a video about that as well to talk about how that affects the photography community and anybody who does some nice video editing as well. If you're a photographer and you haven't gotten into video editing yet, I would suggest you kind of start looking into that because LumaFusion here is video editing software on the iPad. And then, of course, Final Cut Pro is great software, very, very easy to use. I encourage photographers all the time to take that next step and just try to kind of see how video feels to them. It's a very, very cool facet to the creative process here, and it's very cool if you've been doing photography for a while and you want to kind of kick it up a notch just to see what video does for you. Even if you're doing some basic customer testimonials and things like that, video can be so helpful if you can edit that stuff on your own there and just do some basic updates to your website and things like that. Also, we got a video coming out later this week where we talk about a brand new 360 RAW platform that we're launching. So for the last 2 years, we've been using Patreon to host our digital magazine. Every single month, we do the videos, we do posts and weekly stuff on there. We're ditching Patreon for a brand new platform that we've built ourselves all in-house here. So we're going to be launching that. And so we're hosting all of our magazines there. And it's just something that's really, really cool. And if it works out and people like it, we'd love other photographers to be able to take advantage of this platform and save some money, because if you don't know about Patreon, boy, are there some platform fees associated with that. And there's transfer fees, there's platform fees. Those fees get so old. And I can't imagine just starting out and wanting to do a digital magazine or maybe some video production stuff and having to just be dragged down by all of the platform fees associated with this stuff when all you wanted to do is to create and post your content and get paid for it, and now you got to pay all these platform fees. So we'll see if this platform really, really works out and people like it and things like that, but we're so excited to launch that new platform this month here in June in 2021. All right, guys, those are the two things we want to talk about. We've got some new MacBook Pros coming that photographers are going to absolutely love. It'd be great to see an SD card slot back in a MacBook Pro. And we have some amazing software coming to the iPad Pro that we're super excited about. It's going to be so cool to see what iPadOS 15 brings to the table to take advantage of this M1 processor. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.
Baby, I'm a whole